Hi, welcome to John Barn Unlimited. We've had quite a bit of interest since the last video we did. Mostly really, I guess, about what the building and what we do and how things have changed. I think it's worth mentioning we've still got the other building. This is just an addition, and it's given us a chance now to work in more boats over the course of a year. So our waiting list is not quite as long as it used to be. And also do a few smaller jobs. We tended not to do gunnels, roofs and the usual stuff. So having this second workshop is helping us a lot, and it's also given us a chance to prioritise on what work we do. So as you can see, fantastically lit building. One of the main things I think when you're painting is shadow. You never really want to be in your own shadow, and the lighting in here is fantastic. It doesn't matter which side of the boat you're on, sunny days or whatever, it's fantastic. We've also got a lot of natural light, so you don't feel too enclosed while you're working, and as you can see from where I'm standing, there's ample space, in fact tons of space either side of the boats. I'm in a t-shirt, it's cold outside, trust me, it was snowing, but we've got underfloor heating, which is lovely again. We don't have radiators, dust behind them, all that sort of thing. No blown air, again, which is a dust hazard really, because unless you're absolutely clinically clean, blown air will obviously circulate. So the underfloor heating, again, a lovely thing. Bearing in mind most paints air dry, so we want some air movement and the heat rising from the floor, although it's not massive, that does help, and we've noticed paints drying more consistently, as in the overall coating distance, you can see it drying. So that's perfect for us, and it's working really well. We've got two extraction systems in here. Two fans. Again, they're high, which is what you want. You want nice high air extraction. And because they're on the walls here and they're going out, if you like, horizontally together, that's also sucking the air across the building. And what we've noticed, again, since we've been here, sometimes you find roofs, they can be a little bit iffy on drying, mostly because the process of drying, you need to get, as the paint starts to dry, you get a gas, if you like, sitting on top of a roof. The handrails hold it in place. It's a bit like taking the lid off a tin. It won't skin over straight away. In fact, it'll take quite a long time to skin over because you've got that gas, if you like, the dryer's sitting on top and preventing it. So there's no actual air getting to the surface. This extraction is pulling the air across. It's taking the gases that are being trapped by the handrail on the roof, and it's drying out quite nicely. So again, we're having experience in you know, a really nice drying system here as well. Yeah. So when we're talking about drying, it is important. You have a certain period of weather window, if you like, between coats as far as priming is concerned. What you don't want to do, and why drying is important and getting nice air movement is important, is you don't want to be overcoating too soon. It's very easy to look on the specs for your paint systems, and then they say, oh, you can recoat within 18 hours. But you often find, if you look closely in the detail, it's 18 hours at a certain temperature, or if you can't achieve that, it's 24 hours, 36, whatever it might be. As you can see, Mark and Kath are painting behind me. This paint went on yesterday, so by lunchtime they'd completed. We're well within that time span, and again, it's down to the fact we've got good air extraction, the air's moving, and we've got that nice heat rising. So that gives us an ideal opportunity so we can coat on coat and work a really good system. Just briefly, I know it's a walk around the workshop and what the facilities are here, but I have mentioned things about coatings in the past. Don't ever try to achieve the manufacturer's film thickness in as short amount of coats as you can. So if it says 4, it's not for any other reason other than they want you to build it up, so layer on layer on layer, that stops wormholes, it stops penetration of moisture. It's a bad thing, basically, to try and get a thick coating on and try and achieve their thickness within maybe just a couple of coats. So try and avoid that. Nice light coats, numerous coats. It's always better to put more fine coats on than it is trying to go for too thick ones. So just drop that in while we're talking about it. Okay, we've talked about air, heating, how the air moves and drying, which again is, as I've said, is a really important thing. Another area that is regularly talked about is humidity. People seem to think that you want zero humidity, or as little moisture in the atmosphere as is physically possible. That's not actually true. A lot of paints require a certain amount of moisture in the air for them to dry as intended. Bearing in mind, if you think about when they formulate a paint, they're expecting you to have a certain amount of atmospheric moisture, humidity. So trying to exclude it completely is going against, if you like, what the chemists have tried to achieve. These boats fit in here particularly snug. So we've got virtually no gaps down the side of the boat, as you can see along here. And although these are roller type shutter doors, although I'll probably get told off for saying that's what they are, but they're electric doors, but they fit really, really well. Down at the bottom there, we've got a rubber insert that slides down into the water, but it's locked on both sides. It doesn't matter how hard the wind's blowing outside, we're not getting breezes and drafts coming through again, which will pick things up off the floor and suspend the dust in the atmosphere. So an excellent building, really. I'm not going to tell the owner too much, because you know what will happen, he'll put me rent up. But it is a very, very good and well thought out building. I mean, we're just full of PowerPoints all the way around. As I've said, you know, it has everything that you would want really in a really good paint shop. That's not knocking the one that I've still got. That does everything exactly the same. It's just an older building. So should you come and have your boat painted with us, or should you come and do one of our DIY experiences, which is a totally different concept that we operate in the other workshop, where you can bring your boat, you can supply your labour, and we'll give you all the instruction you need. So that's something that gives people an opportunity to use the same type of facilities, use the same type of equipment that we do, because we supply all the equipment for you should you want to take that offer up. But most importantly, you get all our knowledge and experience to take you through a job, but in the best conditions. So again, this is something that's an offshoot of having two workshops. We can offer a much bigger service and help everybody, because, you know, not everybody wants to spend thousands of pounds on a paint job. If you've got the skills yourself, come and have a chat with us. We'll take you through a full paint job if that's what you want to do, and you can do it yourself under our tutelage. So there's another option for people. But basically, going back to the building, as I've said, you couldn't really wish for a better environment to have your boat painted. The heating, the humidity control, the air, the temperature, everything is just as you would want it. So I hope that's given you a little idea of what goes on here. And if you want any more information, then you can contact me through the website or on the replies on YouTube. Thanks for watching.